In this video, we're going to take a look at one-point perspective, how we use it and where it comes in handy, and even how to recognize whether we need to use one-point perspective or two-point perspective. So two-point perspective is where you have two vanishing points. That's why it's called two-point. And one-point perspective, just a single vanishing point. So we always start off with our horizon line. Let's start off with that one. And I'm going to put my vanishing point pretty much in the middle. Let's imagine that I'm drawing a coffee table. So the table surface is going to be below the horizon line. We're kind of standing and looking down at it. And I'll draw the front edge of the table like that. So there we have our front edge of the table. And that's how we know this is one-point perspective, because we're not looking corner on at the table. So two-point perspective goes like this. You've got a horizon line. You've got the corner of something. It might be a building. It might be a piece of furniture. And you're looking corner on here. In one-point perspective, we're not corner on, we are side on. And so what we do is, as we do in anything, we have to join the ends to the vanishing point like that. And then we can fill in between those lines that run to the vanishing point on the horizon. We fill in the other side of the table, the far side of the table. So here we have the table surface like that. And you can see to kind of imply the flat plane of the surface, we could actually just join any point along this edge here to the horizon line, and we end up with these lines that kind of radiate out slightly in this thing, so that shows us in perspective that the table is there. So then we want to fill in the legs of the table. So this is a really simple table, because doing it the way a carpenter would do it takes a whole lot longer, and we're just looking at principles here. So I'm putting in the ground line. This is the ground, and trying to position the legs this sort of fairly equal length from each side. Not doing particularly well, but now we join the base of each leg to the vanishing point as well. And then that helps us to know where to put in the back leg. And it's a little bit of a guesswork. You know, we're not doing a technical drawing course here, so you just choose a spot and drop your legs on the other side. So there they are, not totally visible to us, foreshortened because of the perspective, and that's what they would look like. So obviously if these are wooden legs and they're kind of squared off, then this line here also shows you how to shape the inner edge of those legs, and there would be more leg visible here if it was square, and more leg visible here if it was square. So there we have it. This one. Goodness, I'm not doing a very good job here at all. Carpenter would be absolutely ashamed of me, but anyway. So there we've got the table surface, and I could, if I want to make the table a bit thicker, I can do this. So that's the edge of the table. I could get rid of the lines behind there so that we can actually see it. So this is the vertical side of the table here, and underneath it there would be a shadow cast, obviously. And then we can go, and if we get rid of these lines, we'll be able to see more clearly what exactly is going on. So let me take grey here. Let's go with colour. And you can see this. This is the top of the table. Then we've got the legs and the various facets of the legs. We've got the side of the table here. Oh dear, this is much too thick. Side of the table here. This. And you can colour the back leg, and using a different colour again for the different facets of the legs can help to just distinguish what is what. So that is one-point perspective. Single vanishing point, the edges of your flat face joining to that vanishing point, and thus creating something in perspective. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at what you can do with one-point perspective, or where it's useful. Imagine that we've got a front door here, with a little doorknob, and a step, and we want to put a doormat in front of it. So here we are with our step, and our doormat would imagine that if we have a horizon line somewhere out here, and there's a vanishing point, if we take that vanishing point out like this to the corners of the step, we can create ourselves a doormat. So I can go back in and get rid of these other lines, and then we'll be able to see the doormat nice and clearly. We can see how the vanishing point is there. And if you imagine joining, if you take points again along the bottom edge here and imagine them joining to the vanishing point, then you can end up with some lines like that, which just give a sense that this is a flat plane. A very common and simple use of a one-point perspective is if you've got a room, say with a picture window or something at the end of it. So I've drawn this would be the far end of the room, and I haven't put the window in yet, but let's put in a horizon line here. And the vanishing point can be anywhere on the horizon line, where it will basically be in line with where the person is standing in the room. So let's imagine the person is standing in line with this little mark here. The way that we then construct the room around us is we join from the vanishing point to the corner and then extend the line outwards, and similarly like this and beyond. And for the ceiling, similar things, so to there and beyond, and to there and beyond. So it's not perfectly accurate what I've done here, but it's good enough. So we can go along. I'm going to show you that these would be the corner walls. This is the ground line. This would be the edge of the ceiling. This is the cornices of the ceiling like this coming towards us. This is the ground line of the walls coming down each side of us. And if we had a carpet or something, say a rug, the edges of it would run probably against the far end of the wall and then parallel to the rug, and the rug edges parallel to the sides of the room. And what we could do is we could make these marks like this, or if we wanted to, we could do horizontal lines, which just show that this is a carpet or a surface. So whichever you prefer. I can go in and put in a window. The window is not going to be anything unusual. There's no perspective involved really. Although interestingly, if you show the kind of inner, how the window would, the walls, if the walls are thick and made of bricks like they are here in Cape Town, you would basically join these corners of the window to your vanishing point like this. And then the thickness of the walls would be shown like this. Goodness, okay, my inaccuracies are coming home to bite me. But yeah, this is how it would look. So these would be this would be how thick the wall is. You can see these bricks would be extremely thick indeed. And then you could have a windowsill underneath like this. Very, very rough I'm working here, but anyway. So that's your room. And obviously if there were pictures on the wall, you might have something like this, and then the bottom and the top of the picture frames would be parallel to the floor line and the cornice, and that would be your picture there. So that's how your room would look. I've mixed up my lines a little bit here, but there's your window with its very thick walls, and your mat, rug picture on this window, on this wall, and your windowsill.